Welcome to Welcome to MI Magazine presents Soul, a weekly entertainment show on fashion, arts and culture, relationships, mental health, and food. Our weekly guest hosts are Christy Grace Chambers, Carla Hill, Dr. Delvina Thomas, and Chef Irene. Now introducing our host, Miss Nikki Jellin.
Hello, everybody, and good night. Happy Hump Wednesday. Thank you so much for tuning into our show tonight. We are here every single Wednesday at 7 p.m. And I want to start by saying that yesterday was such a really memorable day. Let's make no mistake, it's never about one bad apple, it's about the system. I am so glad, so relieved, and so grateful that we were able to serve justice in such a high-profile case. High-profile case. I was, to be honest, I was so nervous and I had so much anxiety because of what happened with the Trayvon Martin case. I had no idea what to expect. Same for y'all. Like, were you on edge? Did you think about, okay, if it went this way, what's going to happen? That's how I felt. But I'm so grateful. I'm glad. And it shows that, yes, change can be made. It's also pretty sad that our judicial system had to be threatened. Y'all, they had to be threatened with riots and protest in order for the system to work. That's a sad part. In the meantime, we have to just still do our due diligence and our civic duty to have them phones ready and keep on recording. Keep on recording. Now, the artist formerly known as Prince, today's the day that he transitioned 5 years ago. My co-host, very enthused with Prince, his music, his artistry. So we have a show tonight dedicated to him. And we also have a wonderful special featured guest tonight. She is a host, curator. She is a socialite and definitely known on the poetry scene. So she is the one and only, the beautiful Miss INGRID B. So we have so much to talk about. Stay tuned. And now a message from our sponsored guest. So join the African American Black Alzheimer's Disease Initiative at the John P. Hussman Institute for Genomics, University of Miami Miller School of Medicine. If you are someone that is experiencing loss of memory or have memory problems, or if you know someone who has those problems, please contact their research team for more info at 877-686-6444. Again, that's 877-686-6444. And now on to my first co-host. She is just the wonderful, creative, brilliant Christy Grace Chambers. She's also the host on NBC6's Six in the Mix. And that's a bomb top that you're wearing, honey. What's going on tonight, girl?
Thank you, my ode to Prince tonight. And we are talking about Prince fashion. Love his fashion, right? So let's look at some of his fashion looks throughout the years. So let's start off, Nikki G. We always talk about how much we love high-waisted pants, right? So let's call Prince the originator of the high-waisted pants. Look at these looks. I love that middle one, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So next, what we've talked a lot about on this show are monochromatic looks, right? Monochromatic pantsuits, Prince staple. So you can see my favorite look of his is that one in the middle, the jacket with the hoodie. Just so chic, and only Prince can pull that off. Well, I think I can pull that off too, because I want one. I want that look.
I want one too.
I know. Let's go find one. All right. And then look at this look. This was at an award show. He was receiving a Lifetime Achievement Award. And if you look close up, that looks like him on his shirt. So who is actually bold enough to wear themselves on their shirt? So Prince could pull that off. So let's see how we can recreate some of the looks now. Again, bow tie, shirt, high waist pants, polka dots. This shirt, a similar look you can find at Macy's. These are literally in stores right now. And Ann Taylor has polka dot pants. So you put those two together, you kind of get a similar Prince look. Now for the next look, the ruffle shirt. My ruffle shirt comes from Shannon St. Clair, which is a Black-owned boutique here locally. But ASOS has a ruffle shirt online right now, and these cute ruffle pants, high-waisted, are on sale at Venus online. So you can get that Prince look that he had in 1989. And finally, one of my favorite events of all time. I was fortunate enough to go to the Super Bowl when it was here in Miami in 2007. So I actually saw him there in this outfit with the head wrap. It was raining. Yes, it was raining. My flip phone died because it got wet. So many memories, but you can recreate that Prince look. So Theory has this suit on sale in that beautiful bright color. And his guitars were kind of his fashion statement piece. So imagine a wide strap handbag you can wear crossbody, and then you can get a black head wrap from Amazon, and you can look similar to Prince, but no one can ever look the way he did.
Well, okay, well, Christy, well, thank you so much. I'm really fond of his like style, because I would rock his style, like with the ruffle. When I think of Prince, I think about purple and like ruffles. That's like
Absolutely. Absolutely. And the king of pants, kind of wide leg, high waist pants, just really great style.
And them splits. Okay. All right, well, Christy, thank you so much. We'll see you next week. Bye. And now on to my next co-host. She's our mental health and wellness advocate. She's also the founder of the Brain Love podcast. So Dr. Delvina, happy Hump Wednesday.
Hey, happy Wellness Wednesday to you, Nikki. Are you ready to take the couch?
Always ready.
So we're talking about Prince. Well, the artist formerly known as Prince. I can't recall the newest name. But anyhow, so, I was born in 1976, and the first Prince song that I heard was Little Red Corvette. And I want to say that was in the that was in the 70s, maybe. It was before Purple Rain came out. I lived in Germany when the album Purple Rain came out, when the movie came out. And I can tell you, living in Germany, it was just, I was probably like 6 years old or something like that when the movie and the album came out. And it was just hysteria. It was the best thing ever. It was so much euphoria, just so much. And as a kid, I was allowed to watch that movie, unbelievably. Unbelievable, right? When I look back on that. But I saw the movie Purple Rain. And, music therapy for many people is, it's something that has shown to be very effective. It helps people to recall past events, to feel good. It helps people to relax. It helps to remind you of former better days or times back when. And I believe Prince is responsible for a lot of good music therapy. Little Red Corvette, Nikki, he had a song with your name, Purple Rain. And then, some years later when he was always reincarnating himself, always. He was always, he was never a mundane person. He had, from people who were around him, an exciting personality. As Christy just showed, he had a vibrant sense of style. And people talk about the parties that he used to throw. You had to be invited to these parties. You had to have an invite. And getting an invite to a Prince party was, you knew you made it in the music industry. You knew that you'd made it. So Prince was responsible for making a lot of people around him feel good, feel great, and uplifting all of those people. But what happens sometimes is people are still struggling on their own individually. They may show you one side of themselves, but deep inside, behind closed doors, they're struggling and they have a challenge. And many people didn't realize that he was struggling with pain, that he had some issues with a hip, or maybe it was both hips, and he was being treated with narcotics, what we call opiates. Opiates are those pain medications, things like Percocet, Darvocet, OxyContin. People have heard about the OxyContin pandemic, that whole issue with doctors prescribing these types of controlled substances to treat pain and never again following up on patients, not ordering tests for these patients, not providing proper clinical care for them. And so we found out after Prince passed away that that was the dark secret that he was struggling with. We spoke about this last week, Nikki, the disease of addiction. And it can be very shaming for people. They're embarrassed about it and they don't always come forward. So I just want to give props to Prince, because I have so many memories because of the music he provided, the music that he created for our society. And also just a reminder again to folks, check in with your children, check in with your family members, ensure that they're not overusing certain substances. Then we take your child to the doctor, and let's say they have a pain issue, they got a broken bone, ask the doctor to give them something else other than opiates. Some doctors are very heavy-handed. They give out these prescriptions like candy, but thank God we have change in laws federally and also locally. So doctors are being monitored more closely, and they have also been limited in the amount of painkillers in the form of opiates that they're allowed to prescribe. And we also now have a national system where we can run someone's name, their information in a database, and find out if they've been receiving prescriptions from other doctors and abusing medication. So I said a whole lot in this 4 or 5 minutes you've been on the couch, but I hope, people have captured the point that I'm making. Check in on one another and just, help each other.
I have a question though. So with these doctors, as far as them, I guess, abusing the prescriptions and so forth, do you think maybe they're overwhelmed, or they're just immune to everybody's issue and they're just tired as to why they're not really, I guess, as in tune with everybody's individual issue?
Yeah. Some doctors are very laid back. And when patients are pushy, when they're demanding for certain things, some doctors won't stand their ground. Some doctors will just give in and give a patient what they want to get them out of the emergency room.
Yeah.
That's where a lot of these things begin. They begin in the ER. Patients will show up to the emergency room late in the night, knowing, maybe staff are tired, people are tired. They're not going to take the time to research and see what their prescribing history is, the patient's prescribing history. And sometimes, when you tell a patient, no, this happens in my practice, people who come and want Adderall and they don't have a condition for Adderall, they want a stimulant, and you tell them no, they threaten to write a review, to do stuff on the net, to talk about your practice, whatever it is. And sometimes people are tired and they don't want to be confrontational. Being confrontational is not giving them what they want and allowing them to talk you into doing the stuff that is not clinically appropriate. But docs, prescribers have to stand their ground, do what's right, and not allow patients to be pushy, and just tell them, hey, whatever you think, you can write whatever you want, but I'm going to do the right thing. And this is how my practice, this is how we conduct business.
Wow. All right. Well, Dr. Delvina, thank you so much.
We'll see you next time. Brain love. Say brain love.
Brain love. And now on to my next co-host. She is a national TV host and also our arts and culture connoisseur. So Miss Carla Hill, what we got going on tonight? I feel purple in the conversation.
Well, I brought a special guest. Prince Rogers Nelson is behind me. We are celebrating his life on the 5th anniversary of his passing. And if you don't already know, I am a true blue Prince fan. I have the tattoo to prove it. So tonight, this is Prince 101 according to Carla Hill, just me. There are a lot of Prince fans out there. There are bigger fans than myself. So I don't want to sit here and say that I'm talking on behalf of the entire Purple Nation. Just let's get that straight. One of the first things I'd love to introduce to those that may not know albums outside of the classics like Purple Rain is the one that you're seeing here. It's Prince Originals. And the Originals album is a collection of Prince's original versions of songs that he gave to other artists for release. So as a result, all the songs on the album had been released by people like The Time. One of my favorites on this album is Gigolos Get Lonely Too. You all know The Glamorous Life, I Hope, by Sheila E. And of course, we know Nothing Compares to You. A lot of people attribute that song to Sinead O'Connor, but it was really performed by one of Prince's protege bands, The Family, first. So make sure that you go to your favorite streaming platform and download Prince the Originals. His voice on these songs are so hauntingly beautiful. So wondering how I got into Prince, a lot of people want to know. Well, you know, he was an innovator, and I was introduced to Prince in the second grade with the release of his second album. He was only 21 years old when he sang I Want to Be Your Lover. And what was great about this album is that he played every instrument on it. He wrote every song. He did every vocal. And then my obsession with Prince was sealed with the 1999 album. We were singing before the show Little Red Corvette, but there are songs on here. I don't know how my mom let me get away with playing Lady Cab Driver and International Lover in my bedroom. Like, those songs talk about sex and just R&B, rock, punk. He did it all on this album. Prince was also an author. That's important for everybody to know. Before his death, he was working on his autobiography. You can get this book now, Prince, the Beautiful Ones, at Amazon, and it's the story about how Prince became Prince. It's a firsthand account that includes rare pictures of a kid just absorbing the world around him and then creating this persona, this artistic vision and a life before the hits and the fame that would come to define him. The book was made with editor Dan Pippenbring and Prince himself, and it was done in a collaboration in Prince's final months and a time when Prince was really thinking deeply about revealing more of himself, because you know that he was very private. Prince is a guitar hero. You've got to go on YouTube, Google Rock and Roll Hall of Fame 2004, when he was inducted with George Harrison from the Beatles. He steals the show in While My Guitar Gently Weeps. For someone that did not have formal musical training, this is one of the classic performances of his life. And speaking of classic performances, Prince was an exquisite band leader. I've seen Prince in concert probably 10 times in 2 different countries and in 3 states, and he could make you feel that you were the only person he was singing to in a packed stadium. His Super Bowl performance of 2007, right here in Miami, our own Christy Gray's Chambers went to see him, is something you can rewatch on YouTube. This is just my 101. No, I didn't mention Purple Rain. That's an automatic classic.
Yeah.
This whole hour, Nikki, I could have used the whole hour. So I hope that some of this will get you interested in some of the deeper cuts that Prince has to offer.
Okay, so what's your all-time favorite song?
Oh my gosh, that's a hard one. So there's a movie, Graffiti Bridge. As a Prince fan, it's sacrilege to say that something of his isn't great. It's not the greatest movie, but Graffiti Bridge has a great soundtrack. There's a song called Question of You that is just, oh my God, bluesy, funky. So A Question of You. And I think I have to go with, dang it. I don't have enough time. The one that's coming to my head is Cream. Cream from the Diamonds. I believe it's the Diamonds and Pearls album. Don't kill me if I got it wrong. But the song is sexy, but it's such an empowering song about you're the best and don't let anyone ever tell you otherwise.
Awesome. All right. Well, Miss Carla, thank you.
Thank you. So
all right. So we'll see you next week. Bye. And now on to, and y'all see my little Prince right here in the background? Yes. And now on to my next co-host. He is a host on Tasty Islands on American Public Television. He's also a private and personal chef. Chef Irie. Bloop, bloop, bloop. Walton.
What's going on, Nikki?
What's going on?
Look here, man.
You know, blessings to the purple one, his purpleness,
I
his
got
purple
purple.
royalness. So
Yes.
yeah, so today we're gonna call this the shoot, the purple royal. We calling this the purple royale. Not royal, not royale, royale. You know how
Royale.
yeah, royale. So this is basically Chambord, Hendrix gin. Yeah, yeah, thank you. And a little lime juice. So the purple royale. Yeah. So yes. So Prince 5 years. Wow. Unlike Carla. Well, I should say unlike. I know Carla is a huge fan, and I know other people, other friends of mine are huge Prince fan. I'm a Prince fan. So but if I went, yeah, I love a lot of the stuff he did. And there are other people that I'm probably bigger fans of. But I love Prince, and I love his eccentricness, and what I really loved about him was he was the absolute entertainer. He when he got on that stage, he was doing the damn thing. He was doing the damn thing. But I'm not here to talk about what he would do on stage and stuff like that. So I had to go do a little research, real quick, and find out some about some of the things. The man had to eat. The man had to eat. Maintaining that little teeny weeny physique, but he ate, and for him, eating healthy was a big thing. Eating healthy was a big thing. And there are times, it was rumored that Prince barely ate. He ate like a bird, at times. Um, and it's also rumored that he was vegan. No, he was not vegan. He was vegetarian. Yes, he was not vegan, Carla. He was vegetarian.
Big
Yes,
difference.
yes. And in his household, there were a lot of things that they would cook for him to eat. But one of the things that he loved breakfast. Okay, he loved breakfast, even to the point that he did a breakfast concert at 2 a.m. Yes, at 2 a.m. in the morning, and after the concert, everybody got pancakes. so he loved pancakes. And one of the other things in breakfast that he loved was eggs. He loved scrambled eggs, even so that his scrambled eggs, I wouldn't say they were revered, but he had like a really cool recipe that when he made his scrambled eggs, you know, everybody loved them. And of course, I'm here talking about Prince like he was like this major great chef. Yes, the man had chefs that cook for him. He had chefs that cook for him. But every so often, celebrities they can do a little thing. They jump in the kitchen and do a little thing. And but for him, he was very I would say very demanding in terms of if you work for him as a personal chef, his private chef, you were basically on call 24/7. Yes, because it was really that his time schedule was just different from everybody else, and he would just call you up and hey, I want X, Y, and Z at 11, and it'd be some crazy stuff, but that's how he operated. And so if you were working for him, you had to facilitate, his needs, but he wasn't obnoxious person. He was very cool, and the people that worked for him, they always and they loved him because he respected them. And another thing that he loved, you see me sucking on this candy right here. Mm. He had a sweet tooth, right? I was happy to find me some grape Tootsie Pops. So he loved Tootsie Pops. Yes, he loved Tootsie Pops. Not only and it was cool. What was cool about the Tootsie Pops is that oftentimes when he would go out and however he would be dressed, his Tootsie Pops would match his dress. His yes, his ensemble. So it could be purple, it could be red, whatever colors he was fashionably adorned in, his Tootsie Pops were adorned in too. So Sweet Tooth, he didn't drink a lot. Every so often he might indulge in but not a lot. But his beverage, two beverages of choice herbal teas. He loved to do herbal teas. So if you came over to his house, chances are 9 times out of 10 you're going to be sitting down with him drinking some herbal tea. He would drink that when even if he was just by himself, or drink that with company. Definitely when he was in the studios for sure. But he loved his herbal teas. And the other thing that he loved as a beverage, being a true Minnesotan. Minnesotans, they love their coffee. Yes, they love their coffee. Yes, and he would oftentimes, go out to, the coffee place there wherever he was, and
Mhm.
because he didn't travel with a wallet, whoever was with them, they would only carry like $100 bill. And
Yeah.
if you were the person that was making his coffee that night, guess what? He would pay for the coffee and leave you the change. Yes. So
Oh,
yeah, yes, he would leave you the change.
yeah.
Yes, and it's like keep the change, and they,
Right.
So he loved food. He loved, but he loved entertaining. When he had his chefs, you know, 2 days notice, a day notice, and he would
Yeah.
have these elaborate parties for celebrities, A-list celebrities, not no B, C, and D celebrities. We talking A-list celebrities,
Oh,
and they would come and hang out, chat, and they loved him. They loved him. They loved his conversation. They loved his mind. And I think most people, I'm sure Carla would probably attest to that. As much as we thought that he was, eccentric, I think Prince understood, how to use our perception of him, to his advantage. Not
right.
in
So,
personal relationships, but also in business. So yeah, the purple one.
so let's toast again to your special drink. It's the Purple Royale, right?
Royale, darling.
Royale.
Royale.
All
Yes.
right.
This is how you go to Britain and you get a cheeseburger Royale.
Royale, darling. All right.
Royale. So Royale around the way, baby. Thank you. Thank you.
All right, Chef. Thank you so much. And now on to our special guest tonight. She has the reputation of being the ultimate socialite amongst poets, musicians, singers, DJs. I have attended a few of her events. It's always been lit. It's the one and only INGRID B.
Hey, girl.
Hey! How are you tonight?
I'm good and praying those are okay.
Great. Okay. I didn't hear that last part, but okay. No. Oh my God. I'm so happy that you're like our special guest tonight because I remember you had this dope ass event. I forgot the name, but it was in downtown Miami, across from the airlines arena. It was on the second floor, and you had it was couches. It was couches, and you had red lights, different. It was a dim light. So me and my girls would go there, we'll get a little couch, and we'll just chill. There's a stage with a microphone. Girl, so I knew you from way back then. So your events are always so lit and so memorable, and the experience is okay. So anywho, let's get you know what I'm talking about with the airline arena on the second floor.
Grand Central.
Yes, Grand Central, girl. We gotta bring that back. Okay.
The Olympia Room is coming back Wednesday, May 5th. We're going to do it in Broward. We're doing it for the summer because this is the 20th year of the B-side.
Same style with the couches, the whole ambiance.
It's never the exact same style because all venues are different,
Yeah.
3 different locations. They all have their own energy. So,
Yeah.
but the vibe is still the same. It's the same host. So
Okay.
the vibe is always going to be what it's going to be.
Grand Central. Okay. So tell us a little about your background.
I am from Barbados. My father is Haitian, so I'm half Haitian, half Bajan. I've been in the U.S. since '84, been in Miami since '86. And poetry found me when I was graduating from college and took a hold and took over my life. And here we are 20 years later.
Wait,
And
hold up. Don't you got some Jamaican? I saw some Jamaican in your.
I was born in Jamaica, but I am no parts Jamaican. Not at all.
From Yard. You come from Yard, girl.
I left when I was 18 months old. I just happened to be born there. That's it.
I got you.
Friends are Jamaican. I like Jamaican men, but I am no parts Jamaican.
So wait, do you like South?
No.
Me, girl. Okay, my stepdad, he's Bayesian, and it's the South. I'm like, South. No, okay, y'all Google that, okay. Anywho, okay.
No put it in South. No cuckoo.
No cuckoo.
Breadfruit unless it's fried. Mm-mm.
Okay, so when did you realize your calling and passion for like the poetry, music, and art scene?
Like I said, poetry found me in 2001. I am about to graduate from college after going for 500 years. I'm about to graduate from Barry University. Somebody had an event at Power Studios, Rashida Bartley. We became cool. I helped her get bodies there. So I just started, it was really to support a friend. And then DJ Griot, who I went to elementary school with, had an internet radio station, or, you know, he had a radio station, and he wanted to do a poetry show. And I was the only person that he knew in the poetry scene, even though I'd only been there for 5 minutes. So I hosted the show as a favor to the DJ so that he could have a show, because he had all the poetry music. He had all the soul music, the stuff that we'd never heard of. I didn't know who Nina Simone was until him. And this is in 2001. He had Georgia Me, all of the poets that we can think of that we started out with. He had all of their stuff. So we did the show, and then people started asking, well, where do I go see this live? Yeah. So everybody was like, Marie Louis Saint was like, well, come on. There's a venue next to me. It's an African restaurant. It holds 18 people. And that's how we started, in a restaurant that held 18 people legally. But we all had more people than that.
Okay, got you. So how did you become so that's how you became the soul Shalite of South Florida. That's when it all came about?
I mean, I guess, as Will the Real One used to say, he knew me when I was Ingrid, before the B. So it really just evolved into itself, bringing in the soul music artists. I think Russell Taylor was one of our first people that came down and performed amongst our local people, Antonia Janae. There's local artists that are dope here as well. So the music and the poetry, all of it feeds the soul. So we're socialites. Okay. I go out, I hang out, I'm social, but it's all with soul.
Yes, y'all, it's soul Shalite with the SOUL. Yes. I just want to get that straight. Okay, so now what obstacles have you had to face, especially being a woman of color in this industry?
My lack of feminine wiles when it comes to dealing with people. I can be a little intense, but because I'm a woman, everybody doesn't know how to receive that. I'm about my business, and sometimes that's not expected. And because it's poetry and live music, and this market isn't really about that life, even though we are about that life, because the people want it, but the mainstream media does not support it. Like, it's not on the top of their list of things to talk about at all. It's been 20 years and it's still underground, and I am not the only person doing poetry nights there. At this time, you could go to one every night of the week, probably.
Right. So have you seen like a difference, or is it still the same? Like, more progress has to be made as far as being a woman of color in this industry?
A difference on what end? The customer base or the support from the
support from like the vendors, the space, like.
Oh no, the venues call and ask for it.
Okay.
When I was at piano, the Brian Bosty brought me from Grand Central to piano. So the venues believe in it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The people believe in it, but the overarching entertainment industry, you know, they call and say how amazing you are, but it's not. It just isn't. And it's okay because we keep on going. We don't stop.
Keep going. Yeah, that's it. Keep going. And I have been to one of your piano events at the Hard Rock. So yeah, I was one of your
Beautiful.
supporters.
So I'm at 3 Black-owned venues right now. 4 if you count the Urban when they open back up. Headliner World was kind enough to ask me to come on as a host of that event. So we're praying that that is open soon for the summer because it's a really good vibe. But I'm at Ginger Bay Cafe, Black-owned, been around for probably over 20 years. I'm at Crave in Sunrise. That's where the Bohemian is going to be this summer. Black-owned restaurant, lounge vibe. It's a beautiful.
Is that the boho? Is it the Bohemia? I believe it's what it's called.
The Bohemia Room will come back there. So we have the
Okay.
on Sundays at Ginger Bay. Bohemia Room will be on Wednesdays at Crave, and Thursday nights is the poetry spot at what I like to call, if Piano and Ginger Bay had a baby, it would be Schwa. And Schwa is in Hollywood as well.
Okay.
On Thursday. So there's this. The Summer of Soul is here. This is my 20-year anniversary. This is the 10-year anniversary of the passing of Will the Real One. So I know we're celebrating, but for us in South Florida, he was our legend. So I want to acknowledge him. Mellow Mondays is doing a reunion on May 31st. I'll be involved in that. So we definitely have an amazing community of poets and the poetry lovers and music and musicians and singers, you know, La Vie, Courtney Mickens, just George Shandy Jr. We haven't seen him, but we miss him. I'm going to forget names. That's how this is going to go.
No, okay, yeah. So it's mainly in Broward County. So it's definitely centralized between Dade and the Palm Beaches because it's right here.
Well, right now. So technically, I gave Dade County about 10, 12 years, and now I get Broward like 7. So yes, I'm definitely in the middle. I'm definitely still looking for Miami venue to do some things poetry related, and I have a feeling that that's coming soon. So, but yeah, we're just Hollywood.
Urban too. Right. So, okay. So what is one of your most like memorable events that you've put together? Like the most like
asking Carla what her favorite Prince song is.
Well, give me like your top 1 or 2. I don't know. Like there's got to be one memorable one.
Well, in retrospect, with the passing of Miss Betty, right, the honor of throwing her 60th birthday party for her daughters and her family to allow that to happen. She was I said the entertainment industry, but Miss Betty really, really, really supported what I was doing, and I will be forever in debt for that love and support. Mike Phillips is a big supporter of the event. That's why he's all of the B-side. That's why he's always here. Anthony David, Mumu Fresh, she's coming down for the birthday just to celebrate the birthday and be here with us. You know what I'm saying? And we'll do a show later, but she's like, I just want to come celebrate the birthday. So nationally, the entertainment world acknowledges and loves the B-side. I think the most awestruck that I was when Roberta Flack came through to the event. And I was awestruck, number 1, because she came, and number 2, for the reason that she came. She came to support her background singer, who has been on the B-side several times, Miss Honey La Rochelle. Macy Gray also came out when Honey was performing at my event because she was working backgrounds for her. But the fact that Miss Roberta Flack would get off of a flight, and this is a grown woman, get off her flight, come straight to the venue, and be so gracious and humble, is probably the most memorable thing. And for herself and Miss Betty to support me in the way that they did probably makes me worse, because I'm like, how you not humble? And they are, you know what I mean? So I'm grateful for all of the artists that have come through, Red Riding Hood, Poetic, There's just so many poets, taboo, the newer poets, the older poets. We have a lot of talent in South Florida, and my goal in life is just for people to know that.
So what is like next and upcoming for the B-side?
The 20-year anniversary, and doing it regardless of Corona, like in spite of. Obviously, a huge event is hard to plan right now. I would like to do something in December. I'm still watching to see what is happening. So in the meantime, I'm just doing the absolute most this summer. I've gotten into the education world because that's actually what I went to school for. But poetry took over. So I started substituting last year, thank God. And that was a blessing because it allowed me to work when the event shut down. The timing was everything. And so for me, teaching is an extension of hosting. And it's a passion of mine that I always wanted to do. And I'm going to do it. I'm going to figure it out and I'm going to do it.
So, okay, so how can we like keep up to date with what's going on with the B-side and your events? How can we find you and know what's happening next?
On the bside.com, on the bside.com, on the bside.com. Follow me on social media. That's cool. But I'm really sick of social media. I really want people.
Well, girl, you need social media. That's like how people are able to.
We need social media, but these platforms are not ours. And I believe in owning our own database and our own platform. So every social media outlet that I'm on is a funnel for people to get on the B-side. So the websites are actually Get on the B-side or on the bside.com. And so, yes, follow me. That's great. But get on the email list, get on the text message list. Call me, 305-519-1369. I want people's direct info so that if Facebook blows up tomorrow, you can stay out, but on the B-side.
You still have ownership. You still have control over your platform.
I'm a control freak.
Yeah. No, I understand. Okay. So what legacy do you want to leave behind?
Oh my goodness. This sounds like I got one foot in the grave. I mean, we're not promised tomorrow. So technically age, I guess, does not matter. The legacy is that I provided platforms for artists to grow on.
Yeah.
That is always.
And I see it. You've been doing it, you know? It's been about 20 years now that 20 you've been doing it?
Is the 20th year. This is our 20th year. So I'm just going to do the most with the small events. I am still socially distancing. I'm still at half capacity. People are like, just let more people in. I'm like, nope, absolutely not. So we're going to do the shows. The cost goes up a little bit. Live entertainment is a luxury right now. I need people to really understand that. And your seat is worth a lot more money. So we really need to make it our mission to support these artists because these stages are necessary. Some of them, this was their full-time work. And we really they need our energy, even if they don't need the money. Some of them might have money, but they need our energy. That's their thing. That's their therapy. That's their outlet. That is how they feed their souls, by sharing their art with us. So let us just continue to support the artist, allowing them to support us, support these Black-owned venues. It's all a community thing. All of us need each other.
Definitely. So what would you tell your younger self, and how old would you be?
What would I tell my younger self? Jesus, breastfeed so that your stomach goes down after you have the baby.
Stop.
I'm so serious, though. I'm so serious. Okay. Ladies, breastfeed.
Y'all moms, y'all heard that? Okay.
It helps come back together when you breastfeed. I didn't have any milk. I know that's shocking, but no milk. That everything happens, as one of my best friends, Simone, says, everything happens for you, not to you. I'm a firm believer in not having regrets. Everything that happens in life, hopefully I reach a rocking chair age where I just laugh, sit on my rocking chair and laugh at how I was so stressed over something. And now with the understanding of why that happened, I can laugh at it like out loud and tell my grandchildren those stories. So that's what I would tell
Yeah.
myself. Don't worry about it. And he's not the one. That too.
I'm gonna take that advice. All right. Well, so okay. Well, Miss Ingrid B, thank you. Well, look, I am yearning to head out to one of your events. I'm gonna be there. You're gonna see me soon. So I'm excited to see you.
We are out there. I got food for you to try at some of these beautiful restaurants. Schwa is, I found out, choice in Creole. So, you could get with this or you could get with that. Just make sure you do it on the B side. It's your choice. Thank you so much,
Yes.
Miami, for having me during National Poetry Month. April is National Poetry Month, so we have to acknowledge that. And yeah, celebrate your legends and your legends in the making. So yes, Prince is amazing, but there's another musician out there that needs all our love and support, so that we can help them get to that princely status. So thank you.
Prince inspired. Yes.
Yes. And as for the Royale, I be getting all my plugs in. I see he named the drink Royale. Our first Bohemia Room will be in conjunction with Natural Trendsetters, and they're releasing their Royal Coil brand.
Yeah, that's Simone.
Simone.
Yeah, okay.
So it's all tied in. We need some Royale drinks for the Royal Coils celebration with the Bohemia Room on May 5th. Let's make it happen.
Yeah, that's a good blend. Okay, well, we have to talk online. Okay. Well, okay, Ingrid B, thank you so much. And we'll catch you on the B side.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Have a good night. And everyone, I just want to remind you to please remember to tune into our Lunch with Legacy Leaders with Anne-Marie Serral. It is every Thursday at 12 p.m. Yes, so that is tomorrow at 12 p.m. So we interview thought leaders on issues impacting the Black community within South Florida. So visit facebook.com/MIA Media GRP. Again, that is facebook.com/MIA Media GRP. And this segment is brought to you by the Florida Lottery and the AARP. So thank you so much for tuning in, and we will see you next week, y'all. Stay safe.